morning. So, as everyone might be aware, there's different affiliates to Unite Behind. There's affiliates from Reclaim the City, and there's a lot of demands that we have as a coalition. So we'd like comrades to come and assist us in reading what is in the statement, to assist us to come and read the demands that each affiliate has today. Is that okay with everyone? Amanda! Amanda! Okay, I'm gonna read the first part. Today, as Unite Behind Coalition, we're holding a memorial service to remember all those that have lost lives due to corruption and maladministration in government. We have chosen the first day of the 6th Parliament to call upon the newly elected MPs to chart a new path that departs from lack of accountability. Particularly concerning to us is the failure of the previous Parliament to exercise effective oversight and rise above political allegiances and reflections at the expense of citizens they should have been serving. We call upon new MPs to effectively exercise their mandate and urgently reverse the grave effects of state capture. During the term of the last Parliament, public resources were looted, leading to dysfunctional utilities and loss of lives. The unsafe and unreliable commuter rail service is a direct result of state capture and PRASA. Commuters lose their jobs, dignity and sometimes their lives. In this memorial, we will be remembering those that have lost their lives due to greed and corruption. Just last month, a day before his birthday, 17th birthday, Simo Mandingi from Zonebrom Nest High School was killed on the South River Railway line. Kiran Abid passed away last year after he fell off a moving train trying to run away from gangsters trying to rob him. The Fanminans lost their son on the train more than 17 years ago. These amongst many who have lost victims of corruption, who have been victims of corruption and mismanagement. Ineffective oversight has led to continued lack of basic services provided for in the Constitution. Some of the MPs being inducted today have been directly implicated in corruption that has led to collapse of basic services. As the 6th Parliament begins, the MPs must be held accountable and uphold the constitutional values. Amanda! Amanda! So I'm going to ask Kia to come and read the demands from AITC.
Amanda! I'm Kia and I'm a social justice activist from the AIDC, and we demand that government should immediately constitutionalize the right to work and embark on a massive climate jobs program that can simultaneously create decent work and reduce the country's very high greenhouse emissions.
Mandla, wethu zafuna masela aswafuni away with corrupt leaders, away. Comrades, my name is Sibusiso Mdlangomo. I'm from the Social Justice Coalition. Our demand is very clear. The Social Justice Coalition demands that the Minister of Police and the National Commissioner of Police must develop guidelines for visible policing of informal settlements to serve communities and for the safety of police officers in informal settlements. Amanda! Amanda! Comrades, my name is Tinashe. I'm from the People's Health Movement. We are worried with our public health system, which is not responsive to what we need. Right? So our demand is that the government must urgently and rapidly devote maximum resources to transform our public health system, to capacitate and deliver healthcare with priority to the community of care and to those in need. Amanda. Amanda.
Comrades, I'm going to speak on behalf of District 6 Working Committee, and they say they demand that the Minister of Rural Development and Land Reform pays attention to the plight of people on the Cape Flats in their struggle for land and decent housing within the city Citywell periphery. The vacant land in District 6 must be immediately utilized to build restitution houses, which is 20 years overdue. Amandla.
Madam Comrades, I'm Norma from the Right to Know campaign. Because we demand accountability and transparency, what we are saying is that all those implicated in wrongdoing must be investigated and charged accordingly. And we also demand that we need leaders with high-level ethics and standards.
Mandla. Comrades, I'm from Reclaim the City. I'm an activist, and I'm here to read out the demands of Reclaim the City. So our very first demand to the ministers inside is that affordable inner city housing must be built. Another demand is that the courts must be held accountable for unjust evictions and for displacing people from the inner city. Another demand is that well-located public land must be used for social development, such as housing. That government should not lease out their best public land for the wealthy few, and that the basic needs of the poor and working class people of the city become a priority. That government officials must be held accountable for the sale of Site B in the CBD, and that land should be used for people and not profit. Amandla.
Amandla. Even afternoon, comrades, I'm Madiba from United and Justice. The demands that equal education and proactive steps must be taken by the national government and the Western Cape Education Department and Gauteng Education Department in particular towards ensuring the safety of learners and teachers, including by complying with November 2020 deadline of the norms and standards for public schools infrastructure. The Department of Basic Education and the Provincial Education Departments, Limpopo and Eastern Cape in particular, must undertake the rigorous planning necessary and must master the financial resources to ensure the immediate eradication of plain pit litterness, the immediate eradication of schools built of mud, asbestos, wood and other inappropriate materials, and the immediate provision of reliable water and electricity supply to schools in compliance with the 2016 deadline stipulated by the norms and standards for public school infrastructure. Amandla.
Down with capitalist system, down! Down with the capitalist system, down! Amandla! I'm here on behalf of TCOE Trust for Community Outreach and Education, and our demand is a moratorium on farm worker evictions. Currently in the Western Cape is more than 20 farm workers being evicted, so we want the President to have a moratorium on farm evictions now. Fair and justice waits right for farm workers, rental access to water for small-scale farmers, decent employment opportunities, training and education opportunities for youth and women in rural communities, decent housing for emerging rural settlements and rural municipalities have to stop neglecting the needs of the poor. Amandla!
Good morning to you all. My name is Sefeto Young from Prefontaine. I will read Songa Gender Justice demands. The finalization of the National Strategic Plan on Gender-Based Violence. The finalization of the National Strategic Plan on Gender-Based Violence and its immediate implementation. The President must hold and relevant ministers accountable to deliver service that address the current state of the lack of safety and security in the public transport in the metros. The recognition of rights and its protection of commuters through National Public Transport Police and/or plan of action addressing commuter safety, especially for women and children. Thank you.
So
Now I'm reading from the demands from the Women and Democracy Initiative, and they demand that government and parliament improve access and openness and public participation. They demand the improvement of the quality of oversight over the executive, and finally they demand that we hold elected representatives accountable. In conclusion, as a coalition, we are saying government must ensure that corruption at PRASA, for example, and other state-owned enterprises, but not only, is cleaned out, and that we get stable and ethical leadership at these vital institutions. For example, fix our trains. Unite Behind is a coalition of people's movements joined by legal, policy and research organizations working for a just and equal society where the people share in the country's wealth and our environment is protected for future generations. Pambili, Unite Behind, Pambili. Pambili. Panzi, corruption, Panzi. Panzi. Foreign to Unite Behind, foreign to. Foreign to. Down with corruption, down. Down. Forward to the struggle of the working class. Forward. Amantla. Away to. Amantla. Away to. Away to. Amantla.
Comrade Luyanda.
Go, go, go.